Live and direct from Honolulu. Welcome to M3 Power Collabs. I'm your host, Mike Dillard. We have a special guest here today, Miss Laura Sang. Laura is a LinkedIn marketing coach. I always call her the LinkedIn marketing expert, right? Because Laura knows her stuff. Now, I know Laura from back in the day, right? So I know Laura from back in the day is what COVID is last year, right? So basically, I was doing international, right? I was doing international. We was both in the same coaching program, right? So we met in there. And Laura's one of these crazy cool people. You're from Cameroon originally, right?
Yeah, I'm from Cameroon. That's in Africa. A lot of people do not know where it is, but Cameroon is in Africa. Yes.
Yeah, you know, and I hate to say, but this is true, right? This may be a dig at the American educational system, but I just got to say it, right? Even though they did teach us in school that Africa is a continent, it was almost like the way they taught us was like it was a country, you know. So you have a lot
that's
of
what I realized.
Americans are ignorant. They're like, yeah, we're going to Africa. What country you visit?
Exactly. That was always funny and strange to me. I'm like, what do you mean you're going to Africa? Like, where in Africa? And a lot of times people do not really know. They're like, oh, I'm going to Africa. And you feel like you're just going to Africa to this one big country, but no, Africa is a whole continent with I don't know how many countries, but so many countries. I think that's the second largest continent.
Yeah, Africa is huge. So I mean, when I started doing some research on it last year for my own personal reasons and whatnot.
Yes.
I knew Africa was big. I just didn't know it was that
big, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's normal with a lot of people.
So for those that are new to the show, maybe you're tuning in today and you've never watched the show, you don't know what it's about. What is the whole M3 thing? So M3, it stands for Mindset Matters Most. That's one of my personal sayings in life because, there are certain things you may want to discuss with somebody and, race may get in the way, politics may get in the way, gender, whatever, right? But see, mindset transcends all those things, right? So there's no argument. Like doesn't matter what color you are, sex, religion, doesn't matter, right? At some point, we're all going to find ourselves, right, Laura? We're going to find ourselves in these situations where, oh my goodness, like how did I get in this situation? How do I get out of this situation? And really the thing that is the defining moment for all of these people that have succeeded in life is it's the mindset.
Absolutely. That is true. That is true.
Okay, so what we're going to do here today is I'm going to go ahead and well, before we actually start, I'm going to display my prowess of African words. Let me see if I remember some African words that you taught me back in the day. So I remember no wahala. No wahala, sis, right? No wahala.
No wahala, yeah.
No wahala, right? And then, so God gonna butter your bread this year. God gonna butter your bread this year, right? So it's like
that sounds like something completely different. I'm not even gonna lie.
How is it supposed to be said? Let me hear how it's supposed to be said. So I know I read what it means in the little African dictionary that I have and whatnot, but the Pidgin dictionary. So how would you say it?
Yeah, no wahala. No wahala is just like no problem, no wahala. And then God, I don't know what you're for what you said the second one. God go butter your bread.
It's like Happy New Year, like have a prosperous New Year. Like
God's gonna Happy New Year. Yeah, just Happy New Year. Yeah, basically because we speak like in Cameroon we speak English and French. Those are two national languages, English and French. Yeah. I'm from the English part of Cameroon, but it's predominantly French. Yeah. But from what you're saying, no wahala. That's we say that too, but that's predominantly Nigeria. We have boundary. We are close to Nigeria, so we share a boundary with Nigeria. So. Yeah.
Oh, got it. So basically, I need to just stick to English when I go over there.
No, you pick it up.
They're looking at me like,
just a little bit.
What is this guy talking about, right? We speak English here, sir, right?
Exactly.
Sorry. Okay, I clown myself here. All right, so now that we had a good laugh, so let's we see you now. You're very successful. Laura, right? You're doing all types of stuff. I always say you're a hustler. You're just always working so hard on so many different social platforms and just killing the game. So, but this wasn't always you, right? I know you've been in America for about 7 years now, right? So why don't you take us to a part in your past when what you consider the struggle, right? And it could have been Cameroon. I know some of your story a little bit, but yeah, whatever you deem the struggle, let's share that with people, please.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I love sharing my story. First of all, yes, like I said, I'm from Cameroon, and before I actually came to the United States, that wasn't part of the plan. I did not want to come here, right? I just wanted to stay back home and be back home with my family. And one reason why I really did not want to come here was mainly because of my church, right? I'm Christian, so we have a church back there. I was really very active in church, and it's not here. So I already built my family back there. I was so comfortable with, and I was really growing and getting close to God and all of that. So I was so scared that if I leave Cameroon at that moment, I'm really just gonna lose myself here. So that was something that I really struggled with. And at the time when I was in Cameroon before I came here, I was getting ready to actually be, how do you call this, a flight attendant, yeah, with this airline called Kenyan Airways. Yeah, so it was really.
I can see you doing that. Actually, you have the personality. I can see you doing it.
I was so excited about that. My family was excited. My mom was excited. It was a really great, lucrative job at that time. So I did the interview. They accepted me. We're getting ready to go do the training and all of that. But for some reason, like, it just didn't work out. I don't know what was happening with the company at that time, but they had to tell. I think they chose about 5 of us, and they had to tell us. And that was like 5 out of hundreds and hundreds of people. So they had to tell us, you know what, we cannot continue with this. There's something going on with the company. They're trying to cut back or whatever it was. Like, I still do not get it. It was so weird. Everything that happened was just so weird. And thinking about it right now, I just think it was something that was just meant to happen. Like, it was the hand of God in some way.
Exactly.
That just wasn't the path that I had to take. Right. And I remember that at that time I was so depressed because my mom, she was so depressed because she was so happy when I got that job. She was I remember her dancing at home, and it just fell off. It was a horrible time. And I was so depressed. I was so sad, and then I started working also in my uncle's company back in Cameroon. So I was working, I was okay, but it was really not what I wanted to do, right? So I was working, and I stayed back there in Cameroon for about almost 2 years before I traveled. And at that point, still, I did not, before I actually traveled, I was at the point where I knew that this job is not really what I want to continue doing for the long run, right? But I did not know exactly what I wanted to do. And still at that moment, I did not want to travel. But again, just how God does things. I just realized after a while that I started having this desire to travel, right? And God keeps putting in my mind, you know what, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I have your back, right? So I kept having this desire. Okay, I'm going to be fine if I travel, because leaving your country and coming over to another country, it's hard. You're leaving your family,
I would imagine,
everything, everything that you're used to, everything that keeps you safe, right? You know that these are your people. You're safe with these people, and you're coming to this strange land. And I do have family here, but again, it's not the same thing. So but
your brother is in the mainland.
Yes, I do have.
Your
My brother actually came after I did. So I have like an aunt. My mom's sister was here, so she was so she was here. But once I came here, then my younger brother came later. But as I back home, as I started having like the desire to travel, to come and do my studies, to come and maybe get an MBA and all of that, the desire kept growing, right? It kept growing, and I started really loving the idea. Just out of the blue, I started loving the idea, which is something that I didn't like at all. Like, it wasn't something, I did not want to do it. So just like from here to here, I just really started loving the idea. I was excited about it, and I knew, like, at the back of my mind, I knew that I will be okay. I will be okay. God has my back. I will be okay. I will not lose myself. I will continue to grow in Christ and all of that, because that was my number one issue. And I thank God that, I mean, of course, it's had my back all the time. Like it's just been an amazing journey. And then once I come here too, and I start going to school again, I'm still at this point where I am so confused about what I wanted to do. Because once you come here, a lot of people tell you, you know what, you should do nursing because that is what pays the bills, right? So that is what I thought I was gonna do. I mean, when I came, I thought I was gonna do my MBA, and then you know, people telling you all of these things. No, do nursing, do this. MBA is great, yes, but yeah, oh well, he's gonna employ you in your company to do any kind of thing marketing related. You're from Cameroon, you have an accent, all of this, all of that, right? So, what nursing is the safe bet. You always have a job because everybody needs a nurse. Nursing needed everywhere. And I found myself really falling for that, and I really started doing prerequisites to do nursing. But and then I became I started doing I started working as a nurse aide. So once I was working as a nurse aide, I realized this is not what I want to do. I cannot.
That wasn't for you. You said, oh no,
I cannot be a nurse. Hell no, I cannot be a nurse. And then what did I do next? I decided to do a Linux administration. This is computer stuff, right? With security. I did a Linux administration. I did an online course with that. I went, someone helped me, taught me online. I did an online course for that. I took the certification. I had it. I went for some interviews, and again, at that time, it's still like not really what I want. It's still not what I love to do, right? Like computers, sitting, like doing that. No, that's not me. It's just weird because I'm an intro extrovert, right? I'm this person who, yes, I love my space. I'm a private person. However, I still want to be out there, really. I mean, really telling my story and helping people and really connecting with people in different ways. I don't need to be like in front of hundreds of thousands of people, but I still want to be able to connect with people. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but again,
it does.
Yeah, right. So sitting in a cubicle and just working behind a computer it's not what I envisioned for myself. That is just not what I wanted to do at all. I've always wanted to be my own boss. I always wanted to make my own rules. I would always wanted to whenever I envision myself is to even have a community of people where we're able to like work together and even share and help each other and really build a space where it's just full of life, right? And when I say life, I mean like where I can share with people, really this place where you can help encourage people and help people live in a way that they are in peace and in rest, the way they love what they do. They are not scared. They are not afraid of tomorrow, but they are just living life. So that's just my imagination. Whatever I do now is just from that mindset. That is the mindset.
I got it.
Yeah, get to that space. Right. So
well, let me ask you right quick. So so from what I'm hearing is you tried a couple of different things that people said you should do. I'm sure it's probably more than a couple. People said you should do it. It's gonna help you pay the bills. Absolutely. You started to do it, and then it's like on the inside, you're like, no, this is not a good fit for me, right? So now you have this new headspace. So how did you figure out? Because I'm sure people are going to want to know, like, because a lot of people that are listening, they're probably in the same type of headspace.
Oh, absolutely.
How did you figure out like how to get out of that headspace, or like this is the right headspace for me?
Yeah. So personally, whenever I know that I'm doing the right thing and this is what I want to do, I have this really inner peace, right? So all the other things that I did, that peace wasn't there. I was still so in that space of unrest. So how I found myself in this space was I really just kept searching, like just going online, searching the internet, what I can really do in order to maybe start a business and stuff like that. So I went online, went to YouTube, and I was not a social media person, right? I had an Instagram account, I had closed my Facebook account, So
Yeah.
I had an Instagram account, but I was never on Instagram. So I was not a social media person at all. I
Really?
didn't like social media.
I would never know that about you. Because I
Right?
always see you on social
It's
media, so
the weirdest
I
thing.
didn't know that. Wow.
It's the weirdest thing. Oh no, I wasn't a social media person at all. And I started searching the internet, just trying to
Hmm.
find out. And then I found Vanessa Lau's videos, and that's
Mm.
the program that both of us were in.
Right.
And it was great. I was just learning about online marketing, and marketing is what I did in school. So I love marketing, right? So
Okay.
learning about building, you starting your own coaching business, building your business, online business again. And I got into the
Mm.
course, and I learned so much from there. It really got me to this place where, goodness, I you know what sometimes you're in your own box and you do not
Hmm.
realize how much potential you have, right?
Right.
So I
Oh,
once I got there, and then I started learning all of these things, online marketing, all of the systems and everything, and I realized how I can really build my own business and do my own
mm-hmm.
stuff, do all of this by myself. And it was really illuminating. And I started having that peace of mind, right? That peace where I'm really learning every single day. And
Yeah.
it wasn't all blissful there, of course, because you go and you're doing this. I did not like,
Mhm.
I really did not like showing up online. But what I'm someone who is I'm very determined, I'm very persistent, I'm very consistent.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this until I succeed, until I get comfortable
Mm.
with it. And that is what I did. Just kept showing up
Yeah.
online. I was horrible, of course. Once you put your first content out there, it's horrible. It's horrible,
Right.
horrible, horrible. But you get better as you continue showing up and as you continue putting yourself out there and sharing your
Hmm.
story and trying to find different ways you can really stand out and really share what you want with other people and give your opinions about stuff. And that's
Right.
basically how I started. And then, but right now that was, once I did that, I became a social media manager. I worked as a social media
Hmm.
manager for a while, but I did not really like working on other people's businesses. I just wanted to work on my own, right?
Yeah.
So I always watched Gary Vee, and Gary Vee talks a lot about LinkedIn. I'm like, let me just
Hmm.
try this LinkedIn. So I went to
Right.
LinkedIn, and that was on LinkedIn was where I got my very first social media client.
Oh, really?
That was, yes, and she was so nice because I told her I really did not know much about LinkedIn, right? I did not know much about
Okay.
LinkedIn. I know something about Instagram, but not much about LinkedIn. So she was
And
like,
she paid you.
yes, like I love her so much. Like she was like, okay, no
Oh,
problem.
wow.
We're just gonna try you out. And then that's when
Mhm.
I'm like, great, I'm going to learn everything I need to learn about LinkedIn. And that's where I started on LinkedIn. I started learning, really
Yeah.
figuring out
Yeah.
exactly how this platform works. And I fell in love with
Hmm.
LinkedIn because it was more of me, more business savvy, more a place where you can really connect with people more
Right.
in a way
Then
that I
more
really
so than
wanted to.
Instagram, right? Because I mean, like
Yes,
every platform has its. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was trying to explain to them like how each the platforms they're all different.
they're all
It's like,
different.
yeah, you can do business on Facebook. Like that's still like the leading place for like ads and marketing and whatnot is Facebook.
Absolutely.
I said, but it's just so different. There's a lot of coaches on LinkedIn, excuse me, on Instagram. It's like coaches everywhere on Instagram. And people still kind of like, playing around and doing stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
But LinkedIn, it's just straight up business. It's you know what? And tell me if you see this too, right? So LinkedIn is almost so professional. It's like people almost don't laugh or joke. I think they're just trying to be like they're trying to present their very best
They're
self, but it's
trying
like, you
to,
know what?
yeah,
Right? You see that?
yeah, that is true.
Man.
Especially when I just got on LinkedIn last year, I think August. That's when I really just started being taking that platform really seriously to focus on LinkedIn and to build my business around
Right,
LinkedIn.
right.
And yes,
Hmm.
it was just so serious. Which, in my opinion, I mean, I like it. I liked it, but right now it's people. I'm getting a little bit lighter in a lighter mode and trying to be more funny on the
That's
platform. So I see a
good.
lot of funny videos right now on LinkedIn, which is great.
Okay, that's
But
good.
again, it's still more business savvy than any other platform, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah,
and it is good. I remember when I was going through grad school, like a guy in grad school was telling me this. So this was like 2012.
yeah.
I was running my master's, and he said, "Hey, man, you need to get on LinkedIn." And I'm like, "The heck is LinkedIn?" He's like, it's how everybody does business now. You got to get on LinkedIn. So literally right there in the class, he's like, man, we're going to get you started on LinkedIn, right? Got me started on LinkedIn. I did nothing with it, but I got maybe like 400 people. You know, because I mean, I knew people from the military, going to college, and I didn't know what I was doing on LinkedIn, and I just left it there. And then, you know, I actually met my government contracting mentor, which is Kizzy Parks. I met her also in Vanessa Lau's course, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I met her there. So when I started working at Kizzy, she said, Mike, you got to get on LinkedIn. I'm like, I'm on LinkedIn. So we pulled some stuff. I had like 3 different LinkedIn accounts. They all look like crap. She's like, you ain't really on LinkedIn. Like, figure out, get rid of these other ones. Figure out the account you want, right? Yeah. So I obviously went with the one that had like 400 people. This was in August. So like me and you, basically, we kind of came on LinkedIn at the same time.
At the same time.
August last year. Yeah. So I mean, I've just been, you know, working and whatnot, and so I'm seeing the growth. It's like for me, I don't know if it's like this with you, but like I had the hardest time on Instagram growing. I don't know why, but then on LinkedIn, it's like I just keep growing, right? So
yeah, and that is the beauty about LinkedIn, right? And this is what a lot of people do not understand. On LinkedIn, a lot of people believe that it's just this place where you look for a job, which it is. Yeah, it's a place for recruiters and business people, right? If you want to recruit someone, you can find them there. If you want to do business with people, find clients and all of that, definitely that's LinkedIn. If you have a business, you should be on LinkedIn, right? Instagram and LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is a place where you can really easily grow as long as you're showing up, you're consistent, you're showing up, you're creating content. Because on LinkedIn, a lot of people still do not create content consistently, right? And they just put out any kind of content. If those who are putting content out really just put out any kind of content and they don't put any thought into it. However, if you really take your time and put thought into your content and really understand how that platform works and consistently create content on that platform, the algorithm is going to favor you because you are really adding, you're providing value, you're adding to the platform, right? So people go on LinkedIn to find information, to get information, to learn, to do business. So once you're there and you're adding value, definitely you're really going to get a return on investment with that. And with Instagram, I just want to talk about Instagram a little bit because I'm also on Instagram, but I'm really not as active on Instagram like I used to be. I pretty much just repurpose my content to Instagram. But yeah, with Instagram, it's this platform where, I mean, it's hard to grow on Instagram. I'm not even gonna lie, it's really hard to grow on Instagram, and the algorithm works pretty much the same. Once you put out content, people have to engage, for more people to watch and all of that. But the Instagram algorithm, it's more, I think you really have to be there like all the time for you to really, I think that's my opinion, but all the other Instagram experts might deny. But I think that you have to put much more effort on Instagram than on LinkedIn.
I totally agree. And I was laughing about a minute or two ago, right? Because I saw how hyped you was getting when you start, because I know how you are with, social media stuff. You just came alive, right? It's like, whoa, it's LinkedIn, this and that. See, that's why, listen, that's why y'all need to connect with Laura, right? Because Laura has a passion for this stuff, right? She's really amazing at what she does. And I know that I usually bring up this stuff towards the end, but you know what? We're just gonna go with the flow, right? So I know that you have your own course, right? And I've seen like you tacking on the wall and all the students signing up and whatnot. So I mean, it looks like you're really killing it. I watch you and I'm like, whoa, you're growing so fast. You're freaking killing it, right? Seriously.
Oh yeah, thank God. So yeah, of course I used to work with one-on-one clients at first, but right now I'm turning that into a course. So I'm working with my first batch of students right now in my course. It's called the LinkedIn Client Attraction Bootcamp. So, but you can connect. I go live. First of all, I go live on LinkedIn every Monday, 1 p.m. CST. So you can catch me live on LinkedIn every Monday, 1 p.m. CST, and I talk about LinkedIn business, all of that, and I have guests too there sometimes. And also, you can always DM me on LinkedIn, right? At MKC Laura. That's my name. At MKC Laura on LinkedIn. Just find me, send me a DM or send me a connection request. I'll definitely connect with you. And DM me to learn more about the program. It's just basically for coaches and consultants, VAs, who really want to learn how to use LinkedIn, who want to use LinkedIn to go from unknown to be the number one authority in your space. So you can generate leads, you can find your idle clients, and you can book out your services. So that's pretty much what I help my clients with. And I realize that a lot of people, when they hear any new platform, or when they hear you being an expert or being the authority in your space, you're thinking about having hundreds and hundreds of followers. However, that is absolutely wrong, because if you want to be an expert and an authority in your space, you need to you need to be the expert to your audience, right? What matters is just your audience, the people that you're selling to. So what is the most important thing is for you to know who they are, right? That's the most important thing, to really know who your audience is, and then to cater to them specifically. And you do not need to talk to everybody. You do not need thousands of followers, right? You just need to know exactly that small percentage of the market that you want to serve, and target just those people, and you will be sitting as the authority to them. So that's basically what I teach my clients, to show up as the authority, the number one authority in your own space, so you can basically attract those leads and book clients and definitely book out your services.
So so this is good. This is good. So we talked about Instagram and how it differs from LinkedIn, right? But one thing I heard you say earlier, and correct me if I'm wrong, but regardless, because there's some people out here that's listening, and they're trying to grow on whatever platform they're on, right? Would you agree that regardless of the platform, one of the biggest indicators to success is consistently showing up?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Regardless of the platform, right? And yes, of course, I'll tell people to join LinkedIn. One thing that I'm going to say, right, is all strategies work, all platforms work. If you realize that your ICA or your idle clients are on LinkedIn, or they're on Instagram, or they're on Facebook, wherever they are, that's where you should be, obviously, right? And it is going to work. What matters is consistency. If I can say, if I can talk about something that really helped me like get to this place where I am, because I am, like I said, I'm an intro extrovert, right? I hate social, I hated social media. I wasn't comfortable talking like this. On really expressing myself was so hard for me. I wouldn't do that. I would not even want to talk in front of strangers, because I felt like I had an accent.
Man, you think you know a person, right? I didn't know that about you.
I know. I feel like I have an accent. I felt like I'm not eloquent. I don't know how to talk. I don't know if people are even going to listen to me, right? And all of that are just limiting beliefs that we have in ourselves. So I'm looking at myself right now. It's not because I just had developed all of these abilities and I just became this new person. It's just what has already been in me, right? I just needed to express it. And me being on social media and consistently showing up and doing my first video, and then doing the second, and then doing the third, and now doing videos is definitely my best form of creating content, right? Just me doing that every day consistently, just showing up, sharing my story, sharing my knowledge, sharing my experiences, right? That is what has really made me build my confidence.
Show up every
exactly
day.
So consistency is so important, whatever platform that you choose to really focus on, which you shouldn't really be on all the platforms, especially if you're a one-person business. Whatever platform you choose to focus on, consistency is so important, because that again is how people see you as the authority in your space, and that is definitely what you want to aim for all the time. So regardless of whatever platform you are, consistency. I don't care if it's MySpace or whatever. Consistency is key.
Yeah, it's so true. I remember. I remember being in Vanessa's group, and I mean, there's a learning curve, obviously, right? At that time, so like this is funny now, but I remember last year I didn't know how to tag somebody. Like somebody in the group, one of the sisters was like, "Hey, tag me on your post." And I said, "Sis, I don't know how to tag. What's that mean? Like, I don't know how to tag somebody, right?" And we
I laughed.
I mean, know, right?
Me too.
So
for real, like I didn't know how social media worked at all. At all.
But once you get on it, you start. Once you get on it, and like you said, if you keep showing up, what'll happen is, one, you got your mind right, you're focused, you're focused. now you're still aware of the mistakes that you made or whatever,
Absolutely.
but it's like, yeah,
Oh,
whatever,
absolutely.
right? Like, whatever, I'm going to do this, and you get better, and you get what it is. You get more comfortable first. I think you get more comfortable probably before you really start getting better, because now the fear is like, you know what? I don't have to be perfect.
Right. I don't have to be perfect.
I don't have to be perfect. Yeah, I came on. My hair wasn't perfect. Whatever. Here you go. Right. But at first you're like, oh, gosh, right.
Exactly. All of that really doesn't matter. Of course, you want to really look a little bit nice. That's just human nature, right? You want to look nice before you get on camera, but people really don't care that much. That's the fact. Like, people really do not care. Just the most important thing is for you to really go out there and share your story and create content and share your experiences. That is so important. And what I also want to share is what I realized is, even as you start, of course, you will not start perfect. You will not start great. Probably your first couple of content pieces are going to be horrible.
They're gonna be jacked up. They're gonna be horrible.
But that's part of the process, right? As the more you do, the better you get at it. And right now, and there's a post that I think I'm going to release in the next couple of days, where I talk about my content right now is way different from the content that I put out back then, a couple of months ago, because I have grown. Right now, at that time, I was always putting out, oh, how to do this content, how to do that content, how to do this content, which is something that you can go online and really research and find out about, and put out there. And it's still great on LinkedIn, because how to content, my audience is still at that beginning stage, and I still put out that kind of content because it really helps them. Right. However, the content that I put out now is more of, which this is the kind of content that I really love talking about, which is more of my experiences, right? Really telling, giving my story and sharing my experiences, how I've grown from this person to this person, which is great, because that is what I want my audience to get, right? Because if it's not about growth, if you're not growing, then you might not be at where you want to be, but you're definitely not where you used to be. It's about that growth process, about all of the struggles in between and the little wins in between, which you definitely want to celebrate. So I realized my content definitely is changing. It's improving, but in my opinion, it's improving, because it's not all about, oh, how to do this, which anyone can go out there and Google how to do this, but talking about those experiences really creates that deeper connection with people, because people can really relate with that, and that is how you create those connections and really even generate leads for your business. So that is something that you definitely want to really have in mind as you continue to create content and as you continue to put yourself out there. But if you are really not consistent and showing up and keep doing it like all the time, regardless of how many mistakes you make, then you really will not see yourself grow. And give yourself time to grow, right? I see a lot of people talk about, oh, I make 10K months. I haven't made 10K months. I'm not even gonna lie, right? I haven't made 10K months yet. But you see a lot of people, oh, 10K months, 10K months, 10K months. Which is great. Everybody wants to have 10K months, right? But give yourself time. Give yourself time to grow. If you got someone to pay you $500 for the first time, celebrate that, because that is great. You actually got someone to pay you $500 or $200 or $100, whatever it is. You got someone to actually invest in you because they believe in you. So celebrate all of those wins along the way. It is so important, because that is what is going to keep you consistent, right? When you celebrate, that helps you remain consistent in your business.
I'm so glad you said that, right? Because this goes back to the whole mindset matters most thing, right?
Yeah.
When you're going through, and I remember learning this. So, I mean, we're all going through this international coaching program together during COVID, lockdown, and everything else, right? So all of us, we really weren't that focused on the whole mental health thing first. Everyone's just kind of grinding, trying to make it and hustling and whatnot. But then at some point, I remember, like, when the whole mental health thing hit me, and I was just in the house like, oh my gosh. And it's the whole imposter syndrome, and you're comparing yourself to everybody else, and it's like, well, they had a 10K month. This person just started. They had a 5K month. I've been at this 2 months. I didn't make any money, So you're picking yourself apart, and I really had to learn how to redefine success. Do you think that's important?
Oh, I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like you said, you have to learn how to redefine success, because success for one person is completely different from
Yes.
from what success is for another person, right? One person,
Yes.
you just being able to do your very first video, that is huge, right? A couple of months for me, that was huge for me. And I'll say, damn, I did that. I finally put out my
Right.
first video. That is something that is huge. You should celebrate it. Another person
Right.
is someone who just wants to have their first client. Another person is someone who wants to make 10K months, right? But
Mhm.
the person who hasn't even had your first client, you cannot compare yourself with someone who's trying to make 10K months. The point is, you have
Right.
no idea how long they have been in that place before they
Right.
could actually get to that point, right?
It's
Some people
not
have,
fair to yourself.
yeah, it's not fair to yourself
Right.
at all,
Right.
at all.
And,
And I'll say one thing that really, really helped me like get past
mhm.
that imposter syndrome is I am on social media, but I'm not on social media a lot. Like I do not I when I go on social media, I know exactly what I want to do, right? Okay, I want to
You get on,
engage
get
with
off.
my,
You
yeah.
do it, right?
It's very,
No
very, very, very
scrolling
intentional.
excessively.
Very
Right. Okay.
intentional. So I have my list
Mhm.
of leads. I'm going to engage with these people. I'm going to engage with these people. Okay, I'm going to go now and just maybe go to this person that I love their content. I'm just going to look at their content. But I really, really avoid browsing all the time just to see
Mhm.
how this person is talking about, which is not like I'm jealous or anything. I'm just trying to
Mhm.
protect myself, right, and my mind. And I know when I'm
Yes.
looking for that kind of content to see how this person really got from this 5K to 10K or to $1 million a year or what. I know when I'm looking for that, I know where to go get it and I go there. But if
Mhm.
I'm just I know exactly what
Mm.
I go for whenever I want, right? So it's not just
I like
scrolling all
that.
the time. Because once you get all of that, sometimes it really just discourages you. And that's when people give
Man,
up.
I gotta
Yeah.
work on that. I gotta work on that, right? So I tell you, you mentioned Gary Vee earlier. So I'm trying to remember this exact. Gary Vee had like the strategy. He put it out like 2 years ago, and it was something like the 90. It was like the
Or
90
the
cent or
the
99
yeah, the $1.80.
dollar eight. That's it. The $1.80. That was it. It was the
That was
dollar
it.
eighty
Yeah.
strategy. That was the $1.80 strategy. And I remember listening to this, and you know how Gary Vee is. He's just so like matter of fact. He's like, it's not easy, but if you do it, you'll succeed, right? So I'm listening, I'm like, it's brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant. Now I didn't, everyone knows I still have a 9 to 5, right? I have a 9 to 5 also. I'm running
Yeah.
these companies, but I have a 9 to 5. So trying to do what he was saying, I'm like, you know what? That's too much time for I can't do
It's
that.
a
But
lot.
what I can do is look, I can take, because basically the principle is like, look, what you want to do is you want to go on, you want to find somebody you like their content, you find like these different accounts that will resonate with you and what you do. And basically his thing was like 90, like I think it was like you get 90 accounts and you just
Yeah.
interact with those 90 accounts. It's like maybe like 2 times a day. I think that's what $1.80 came from. It's 90 and 90 is 180, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, I cannot do that. But what I can do is I said, I called mine like a Power E30 or something like that, right? LinkedIn E30, right? So what I did, I took 10 new accounts. It was 30 accounts, but I would take 10. So I take time in the morning to engage with those 10, time at afternoon, and then time in the evening. So that's 30 new accounts. But that's essentially what I was doing on LinkedIn to grow. Like I said, I started on LinkedIn seriously August last year. I had like 450 because I remember Kizzy was kind of clowning me. She was like, Mike, come on, dude, you gotta get 500. You gotta get that up to 500, right? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it, right? So I went on and I did that. I did that technique and spidering also. I did spidering also. And I mean, my account grew, so I'm almost at 4,000 now. So from like 450 something to almost 4,000. That's not in a year, right? So I mean, that it works if you work it.
It does. It does.
Like
If
you
you
said,
put
all
in the work,
techniques
yeah.
work, all platforms work, but if you don't work it and you're not consistent,
Absolutely.
it's not
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, you have to put in the work, because I mean, if it was easy, everyone would be this huge successful success, right? If it were easy, everyone would be so successful. But it's not easy, right? I'm not even gonna lie and be one of those people. I always say this. I'm not gonna be one of those people who's like, oh, doing this is so easy. It's not easy. It's gonna take hard work. Sometimes you're gonna want to give up. But again, it has to come to It has to come down to your why. Why do you want to do this, right? And please, it should be
Right.
beyond you just wanting to make money. It's okay to make money. It's okay, 100% okay. That's part of it, right? I want to have a better life,
sign me
right?
up, all right?
But we should go beyond that, because at some point, as if you wake up every single day and you're like money, 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 that just becomes your meaning in life, right? And we definitely, you don't want that to be your meaning. There should be something beyond that. There should be something more that you want to give, that you really want to achieve beyond you just making money, right? And that's just my opinion. If money is all, I mean, great for you, but again, I believe 100% that if it's beyond just the money, that is what is going to keep you consistent, because that is what keeps me consistent, right? Because when the money is not coming, there is something more that I want to give, right? Which makes me enjoy the process, because at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You want to enjoy the process of you really building and building. In the times that things don't work, you still want to enjoy that process. So you should have that thing, something more than you just wanting to make money, because money is not always going to come that fast, right? You will make money, but there is that process, that time of you really building, that you need to remain consistent and continuously showing up. That you really have to understand that, okay, yes, I'm not making the money, but that joy, even though I'm not making the money, I'm still showing up with joy and with contentment, and really sharing my story and really reaching people, even if it's just one person that you're able to really reach with your story and really connect with. That is a lot, right? So like I said, if you put in the work, if you put in the work that we're talking, if you put in the work, 100% you're going to see the return on investment. You just have to put in the work and continuously learn and make tweak and make corrections as you go. That's pretty much how experts become experts, right? They fail, and then they tweak, and then they like
you fail your way to success.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's really what it is, right?
It. Put in the work. Put in the
Everyone's so hold on, my mom is there. Hey mom.
Hi mom.
Hey, my mom, she's about to begin her journey. Oh, this is exciting. I'm so happy to hear this, because before I do and Lord, we prayed before we started the show. I always pray. I'm like, Lord, let the show go how it needs to go. I know I have a particular format, but every show is different. So I saw with this episode, I'm like, this is different. We just and the cool thing is that, Laura, you're actually answering the questions, like the questions I would have asked. You're going right. You're still flowing through that. Yeah. But this is more of like an instructional kind of type thing, like to encourage newbies, right? And I had no idea that my mom was getting ready to get started and all that stuff. It was like, oh wow, it's an answered prayer. That's why the show is so
amazing how our parents are like our cheerleaders. My mom literally joined LinkedIn and Instagram just to like my content. I'm like,
my mom too.
I don't want to post anything. You can just like it, no problem. But do not post anything on Instagram. Please do not embarrass me. But she's always liking all of my content pieces, right? Like, it's amazing.
This is fantastic. All right, so we're wrapping it up right now, and like I said, you've honestly been answering the questions I would ask anyway, right? But I always like interacting with you, because you're so cool and you're funny and you're just a very interesting person, right? So I always get something out of it, right? Yeah. So okay, so tell us where can people find you, and then also your class. I know like your class is full right now, so you got your first batch right now. When are you going to open up? When are you going to open up your next batch of students? When are you taking your next students? And how can these people get in touch with you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you can get in touch with me at MKC Laura on LinkedIn or Instagram, at MKC Laura. And you can also join my free Facebook group, LinkedIn for Bosses. So that is how you can get in touch with me. Yes, right now I am already working with students in the LinkedIn Client Attraction Bootcamp. But again, if you want to know more about LinkedIn, want to learn more about LinkedIn, want to just chat with me, go ahead and just find me at MKC Laura on LinkedIn and connect with me and send me a DM, and let's chat, right? And we'll talk about how we can really get you to the place where you want to be, and see how you can get in the next session, which will be it's going to open July. Right. But again, I'm still always happy to talk to people, see where you are, see where you want to be, and just see how we can really help you get there. basically.
Fantastic. And I will say I'll do it. I'll do it. It's not a shameless plug if somebody else does it. If you do it, it's a shameless plug. If I do it, it's just expected, right? Listen, Laura knows what she does. Laura is extremely good at what she does. Now, y'all don't know the conversations I have with Laura behind the scenes or like, DM and whatnot, but Laura, is this not true? Don't I always say like, Laura, you be working so hard. Oh my gosh, your content is great. You're always hustling. You're always putting in the hours. Like Laura is killing the game. So if I were you, I'm talking to the people out there that are interested in learning more about this. There's all different types of coaches out there. There just are. And some people you have to determine, like right off the bat, you have to find someone that resonates with you. And that's what happened with that group we was in with Vanessa, right? We kind of all went through different coaches, and then you listen to Vanessa and it was like, oh, she the one, right? So you want to find someone that resonates with you. And then, because some people are just about that money, like Laura, like you were saying, it can't just be about that money, right? But some people are like that. And you'll feel it immediately. It's like, wait a minute, I'm just a transaction to you. You don't even care about me or my dreams and my success. Denied, kick that person to the curb. Laura is not like that, okay? I'm sure y'all can already see Laura is a very sweet person. She really cares, and she will work hard for you. She will go to work
absolutely.
for you. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, I know that about you. I love it about you.
Really? Is that me?
That is definitely.
Thank you so much. And I'm just going to add to that, like you're right? I know there's so many coaches out there, but I know what makes me different, and that is the most important thing, right? Because what makes you different is what is really going to help you connect with your own ideal clients. Again, it's for me, even with my clients, what I want to instill in them is for you to understand that it's not just about the money, right? It's about your why, it's about your story, it's about your experience, right? Why you are doing what you're doing. So we're really going to work on really figuring that out, because that is going to make you stand out. And with my clients, the transformation that I provide is for you to really go from unknown to being that number one authority in your space, so you can attract your ideal client with ease. You're not trying to go viral. You're not trying to have thousands of followers. If that is your intention, I'm not the person for you, because I do not go viral. I've never gone viral, right? But it's about you really understanding who your people are, who your ideal clients are, and being the authority to them, right? Being that number one authority to them. And that's definitely what that's a transformation that I provide. So it's really, really important for me to really get you from that space of really being unknown and feeling like you're not seen, your ideal client will kind of find you, you're not able to be seen by them, to really being that go-to person to your ideal clients. Because once they see you as a go-to person, you'll be able to attract them easily, they'll be able to find you easily, and you will be able to book out your services easily.
That's fantastic. Perfect. I would expect nothing less from you. Okay, so on that note, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Laura, thank you so much for coming on my show. Like I said, I knew some things about you, but like there's so much I don't know about you. So I was really excited to get you on. I said, okay, we're gonna learn a little bit more about Laura today, right? So this is very good. I'm gonna ask you to come back at a later date.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'll love to.
Okay, that sounds good. And so what we're gonna do is just go ahead and close out. Always remember, right? Your mindset matters most, right? If you change your mindset, you change your money. You change your mindset, you change your money. You change your mindset, you change your money. That's it. Okay, have a wonderful day. Aloha.